So here we are. Could you first of all introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Alex from Blur.
And I'm Dave, Alex's friend from Blur.
Rhythm section.
From Blur.
Bass and drums.
You've been exploring Amsterdam yesterday evening?
Well, we spent quite a lot of time here in the past. So we were sort of reacquainting ourselves.
You knew where to go?
Well, we tried to go everywhere. You know, we've been invading Germany all week.
Where have you been?
We've been Nuremberg, Bonn, Hanover, and Frankfurt. And it's a lot more chilled out here. It's rather nice. So we've just sort of been hanging around as is our wont.
Are there less fans here?
Pardon?
Are there less Blur fans here in Holland?
I think people are a lot cooler here. You're a lot less likely to be molested on the street than you are elsewhere, so it's difficult to gauge.
You guys still walk the
We've
street?
never sold that many records here, really. You know, this tour's been fairly ridiculous. We've been all over Europe, and yeah, I mean, Holland and Germany are probably the only places in Europe where we can walk around without disguises on and not get swamped, which is nice.
Is it that bad?
Is that good?
Is it that good? Now, what is it? Is it good or bad? Or...
Well, you get tired of it fairly quickly when you realise you can't do normal things anymore. But you know, it has got like that. But for Damon particularly, I mean, he's the kind of smiling public face of Blur.
Your new video, there's a lot of Clockwork Orange influences in that. You guys had anything to do with that?
I just have a mouthful of omelette. You want to deal with that one?
Yeah, I'll deal with that tricky one. Yeah, well, we get involved in every aspect of what we do. So obviously we got involved with but it wasn't just Clockwork Orange. We were trying to kind of do the whole Kubrick Bonanza spectacular. There are bits from various things in there.
Why is that?
Why? Just because it fitted in well with the theme of the song.
And you're Kubrick fans, or?
Isn't everybody?
No, my mom.
Really? Blimey.
Good call.
Okay.
It's about another world, so we said, let's make another world. And, I don't know, there's just some sort of chilling... You know, I've got no problem with appropriating things off other people, you know, because you always end up with something different in the end. But, you know, that's just a sort of chilling, ambiguous, good-looking world.
You guys seen the movie Trainspotting already? Because it hasn't been out in Holland. Is it good?
It was the one they're all talking about. We've got some music in it, so we saw it, like we saw the offline cut of it and everything. And I think we are part of it, so we're never going to say anything bad about it. But I do think it's a benchmark film. You know, it's about a very provincial phenomenon, but it kind of transcends all that, and becomes a sort of singing, dancing metaphor for life itself, you know, which all good pop culture does.
Can you say something about it, like what's it about? Because in Holland nobody knows about it yet, but there's this kind of buzz going on that you should go see it.
It's just about junkies in Glasgow, you know. It's about sex and drugs but you know, it's sort of a cross between Gregory's Girl and Withnail and I, or something.
You read it?
Pardon?
You read the book?
I've got the book, but
Because it's half written in Scottish dialect.
yeah, well, I mean, the film is, you know, it's a brave thing to do. You know, it's like blowing a big fart at Hollywood. You know, it's great. It's proper indigenous cinema. But you know, that's part of its charm.
You think it's just... Is it just a hype, or is it really that good, the book and the film?
Nothing's ever is that good.
No?
No, but it's good. Look, you write anything down in the paper and say it's brilliant. I don't know. I liked it. I've seen it twice.
There you go. You guys been touring now for a long time? You working on new material?
We will be. Basically, this is the last date of the tour for this year.
The last date of the world tour. The hangover starts tomorrow.
Yes. And we're going to have a couple of weeks off and then get working on the new album. And Damon's written a lot of songs already. And I wish I could say we're all raring to go with some enthusiasm. But this is the morning, so I can't.
You guys going on holiday? Where are you going?
It's the best holiday of all when you just come off tour is to be at home surrounded by all the little things. It's a real luxury to be at home, to have your own kettle and to know how your remote control works.
I mean, we do live in this ridiculous world where we're in a different place every day and we're perpetually not sure where the toilet is, and it's very exciting, and this sort of this quite dreamlike procession of people and places and stupid events. So when you do when you do stop, it's nice to just sit down and do nothing and speak to nobody. And just sort of be very, very calm indeed. Very calm and still. So that's probably what I'll do next week. I probably won't, actually. I'll probably ring up all my friends and carry on going mad. But
generally, though, when you've been living in hotels for 2 years, the last thing you want to do is go and live in another hotel for 2 weeks. In general.
Is this the best job on earth? Playing in a popular rock band?
Yeah, the best down the, everybody I think thinks they've got the best job in the world sometimes, and everybody thinks about giving it up and doing something else every day probably. But yeah, I think I'm quite happy being a pop star. Cheers. Yeah. I think if you're good at it, if you're not very good at it, then you soon find out, I suppose. But it is a vocational thing.
Does Damon write all the songs, or do you guys write?
You need to be a bit of a show-off, I think, a bit of a prat.
Do you guys write songs as well? Does Damon write all the songs?
Damon writes the words. Dave writes the drums. Graham writes the guitar. And I write the bass generally. I mean, you need that. If you're going to be in a band, it's not really a band unless, you're all contributing to the musical chemistry.
But you guys get credits? I mean, how do you write the songs? Is it just like Noel gets all the... No. Damon gets all the credits?
It's not like that. We share... We share the money, if that's what you're getting at.
Is it good?
What, the money? You soon get used to it. It's not as good as being famous, being rich. Being famous is better.
Yeah?
It's the same kind of thing, though. It just makes superficial things in life easier.
I mean, what's so good about being famous?
Well, it just, just like I just said, it just makes superficial things. It's not a reason to live, but it does make things easier, Right. Like in the same way that money does. It means you can, you can get into nightclubs, you can get into girls' knickers, you can, it's just a sort of power that you can, but it doesn't. This doesn't. Being famous, like having money, doesn't make you happy in itself. But show me some. I think everybody really is interested in the phenomena of fame. Otherwise, we wouldn't have famous people. So I'm interested in it. That's all.
Doesn't it ever tire you being famous? I mean. And don't you know, it's like, it's not lasting, I guess.
What is really good is when when what's been good about this tour is that we're still sort of seen as a new thing here at home. We're just sort of kind of boring celebrity type figures, but in Europe everything's taking off, and you're sort of endowed with this mystical power. But when you're first becoming successful, there's this wonderful feeling that you can change everything. There's a special power when you're getting your first taste of success somewhere, that it's the new thing, and that's, you know, I don't know, I sounded like a bit of a big head, but
Well, guess not.
but that's what's been good about this tour, is that it's sort of been happening in all these countries for the first time, and I think people get very, and it's just exciting.
You guys never get tired of playing?
Yeah, completely bored shitless.
Yeah.
Don't you get tired of asking idiots stupid questions?
Yeah, totally. So,
It's kind of, the more successful you become, the less, to a degree, playing becomes forms a part of your job. I think that the periphery of being in a band tends to kind of take over more and more. So I mean, basically what we're playing for an hour and a half a day, you know.
So last time you played the Paradiso, you were absolutely brilliant, but tonight's gonna
But what?
Tonight's gonna suck. Well, the thing, you know, I can play the whole set without looking at my guitar, you know. We're a well-oiled, humping, pumping, fucking groove machine, you know. You know, I'm sure that tonight's gig will be of a sufficient standard
Okay, let's settle for that.
to make people wet their knickers, whatever.
you
know, it's very hard to get excited about something you do every day, unless the audience is going absolutely mad, which has been happening, you know. But then when that's happening every day, you just go a bit mad, you know.
get used to it.
What?
You get used to it.
No,
You
get used to that.
when it's happening every day, it sends you off a little bit, you know. You go somewhere, everybody goes bananas, and then you go out and go bananas as well, because you catch the bananas disease, and then you go somewhere else the next day, and everybody's still going bananas, and it's in another country, you know. But you do need, you know, the audience will lift you. You know, you spend all day feeling tired and crap, and then you go on stage, and when you come off stage, which is when you should go to bed, you stop feeling tired and crap, and you go out all night drinking and going bananas, and you wake up the next day feeling crap, and it all happens again. And then I think you probably die when you're 30.
Unless you use enough heroin or crack or cocaine, I mean.
Does that keep you alive then?
You don't need any sleep any longer.
Look at Iggy.
Yeah, look at Iggy, he's still alive.
Choose life, choose cocaine.
I think we're a boozy band, really. I mean, I don't think you can beat a gin and tonic, really, to keep you awake, keep you interested. But I mean, booze really suits this kind of lifestyle.
Yeah?
Because when you're in a foreign place every day, it you know, it's just, there's lots
like people offering you cocaine and whatever all the time?
I've never been offered cocaine.
No?
No, I don't think we attract that kind of person. A bit of champagne, really, that's what we get given.
Well, okay. Is it, what?
Nee. Nee, ik knip het steeds.
It's working. It's
Okay.
working. Trust me. Will you guys check out the Sex Pistols when they play London?
I still think John Lydon makes brilliant telly. You know. Yeah. It's just British great. You know, he makes all those stupid twats from Green Day. You know, he shows them up for the insipid little rich kids that they are. You know, there's something real going on there. You know, it's just great telly. I mean, the rest of the band is stupid, obviously, but you know, and it's good telly. You know, that's the main thing.
Did you ever read that book, No Irish, No Blacks, No Dogs, by him? That autobiography?
You didn't read that?
No.
Nah.
Brilliant. It's really funny.
They're really slagging off each other really hard.
It's
I was trying to remember the name of that book because I was going to get it, and then he just said it. So I'm like, oh, excuse me.
What do you think of all those bands joining together again?
Well, if someone offers me $10 million to reform Blur in 10 years' time, I'll probably do it, you know.
You say it's for the money?
Yeah. No, there's good... I just like the way he's so brutally honest, you know. He tells the stupid man who's interviewing him to shut up, you know, which I've wanted to do a lot. But, you know, it's nice to see...
Why didn't you do that?
Pardon?
Why did you do it?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm a middle-class constipated twit.
But you make good music.
Thank you very much.
John Lennon's got the gift from God of being able to annoy absolutely anybody he chooses, which I'd die for. I'd gladly give all this up to have that gift. He's a wonderful, wonderful human being, cunt.
You almost got the look.
How is Blur doing in America?
Better than here. We haven't, you know, we've got. Well, if you want the sort of record company report, I think they'd say, well, all right then, we're doing okay. You know, we haven't had a sort of. The annoying thing is that if we'd have released Pop Scene a year ago, it would have been a hit, and if we released Boys and Girls now, it would be a hit. And probably if we released Charmless Man this time next year, it would be a hit. But
So we're frantically working on a time machine at the moment. That's what all our efforts are going into.
you know,
Allowing our resources.
we play to 4,000 or 5,000 people a night in the big cities, but we haven't really penetrated the male culture. You know, but I'm not really sure that I want to spend half my life on a tour bus in America. I'm quite happy being big in Europe.
We really are. We've got the best of both worlds in America in a way, because we're playing very, very big gigs. I mean, look, with the tour we've just finished, we were playing the same venues that Nirvana played on their last tours. I mean, you know, we're playing the gigs of a big band, but we're not selling thousands of millions of records, which means we don't have to spend all day kind of shaking people's hands and.
Stupid interviews.
Yeah, we get to spend, when we're in America, we get to spend a lot more of our time actually doing the things we enjoy.
We are no longer the only thing that's not big in Texas, though, fortunately.
We could point you out some bars in New York City that are totally filled with Blur lookalikes.
Yeah.
Really?
The Blur lookalike thing's big in New York.
New York, we've always done well. New York and LA.
San Francisco.
It's the kind of middle America thrust.
Where most people live, unfortunately.
Yeah. We haven't really entered the farmer's consciousness yet.
No, I think it's just a question of what you want to do. I mean, I know how to make an American hit record. I know what the ingredients are, but I'm not really interested in just selling a lot of records. That's the thing. In this year particularly, the benchmark of success in music has been sales. You know, and there's going to be a huge reaction to that. You know, when I was growing up, I listened to deliberately obscure music, and I'm sure that people like me who are growing up now really hate Blur, probably just because we've sold a lot of records. You know, you can't like something that your little sister likes when you're 16. So I think there's going to be a big reaction to that. You know,
It seems that the underground is disappearing. I mean, especially in America, it's like...
Well, it's partly our fault. You know, we were the first band to sell 1 million records in Britain. You know, we started it. You know, but the alternative is the biggest thing now. It's become a big parody of itself. It is.
So
You know, but that was always going to happen, you know.
So what's the next
I'd be really scared if Motown was happening now, you know, because I just didn't. Can't compete with music like that. I'd have no idea of where to start making music that good. But it's a piece of piss to make alternative music, you know. But I do, you know, that wouldn't satisfy my desires, my urges. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. A happy man. I'd have bad dreams about gorillas.
You were commenting?
No, I was just laughing at Alex's gorilla gag. No, it's just,
Always
you know...
goes down well, the gorilla gag.
Yeah, we like gorillas. There was... 2 or 3 years ago, when we were going to America, we were kind of, you know, going reluctantly, really, in a way, because we weren't selling particularly well anywhere else. And America's this vast big pot of money that the record company go all Google Earth and they look at, and so they try and. We're successful enough elsewhere now to make the record company a good living. So we really found that this time we can just go over there and enjoy ourselves, which is a great relief, really. And same with Amsterdam, of course.
I mean, selling.
You'll never get big in Amsterdam.
Do you know that what we've had to ask ourselves is, do we just want to give people what they want to hear, or do we want to change the fabric of everything? You know, we did that in Britain. You know, we changed pop music in Britain, and you know, you have to tease your fine line as to whether you just want to give American MTV exactly what they want and just become so much fodder for American youth, or whether you want to actually stand your ground and be your own thing.
Isn't it?
You know, the time will come. You know,
Isn't the time already here? I mean, you guys can do pretty much what you want.
to do exactly what we fucking want. Cheers. You know, it took REM to 6 albums to become REM. You know, so you know, and now they can just be REM for as long as they want. You know, that's the way to do it.
So you guys will keep up for a couple of decades?
I prefer to go the sort of Marianne Faithfull way rather than the Mick Jagger way. I think she's done it well. She's aged brilliantly, you know, elegantly. But, you know, if I'm poncing around with a bad haircut and bad trousers and I'm 50...
I'm still poncing around with a bad haircut and bad trousers. I'm 50.
You know, there's a good...
Oops.
I think being in a band's probably most fun when you still want to be 16. I still want to be 16. But if I still want to be 16 when I'm 40, then I won't be a very rounded person, really, I think. But I'll probably be rich.
Cool. We'll still check you out in the Paradiso. Nobody wants to see you.
Yeah, my agent came up to me and said, the concert sold out in 15 minutes. And he seemed really pleased with himself. But I said, well, why didn't you put us in somewhere bigger then?
What did he say?
Oh, they never have an answer to that one.
He said, "There's
They
no."
draw you a graph.
He said, "There's
If you start
nowhere
asking
else."
specifics, they draw you a graph. That's the end of the discussion.